Hi, folks. Chocolate Yoddah here, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And I was just thinking about voyeurism. That's tantalizing, isn't it? Well, I don't mean it in a salacious way, although, of course, that is part of it. But just the fact, think about all the platforms there are for people to watch other people. Why is that? Is that a new thing? I don't think it is. I mean, it's big industry. Watching that thing that rhymes with corn is a huge business. In fact, corn sites make more money than Netflix. 3 or 4 times more, as a matter of fact. So what is that all about? What's the thing with people watching each other? Why do we do it? Have we always done it? And I think we have. I think it started off kind of simple. We divided labor. Men went off and hunted. Women stayed and took care of the children and the household and all of that stuff. And what would happen at the end of the day? There'd be a campfire and people would talk to each other. The men would tell the stories of the hunt. The women would tell the stories of the home. And they were interested. Everybody was interested in what everybody else was doing, which makes sense. Even if you weren't married to the guy that was telling the story of the hunt, you wanted to hear it. Even if you didn't have children, you wanted to hear the story of what happened with someone's child. And then fast forward a long, long, long way. And, you get to kings and court jesters and storytellers and orators. And then you fast forward again and you get to authors and performers and athletes and television and radio and film in no particular order. What's all that about? What's all this watching each other all about? I mean, isn't that what most of the internet is? We're all interacting with each other. We want to share our thoughts. We want to read and see other people's thoughts. That's what podcasts are, right? So what is this, for lack of a better word, voyeurism about? And there's probably a better word for it, but, why do people read books? Why do people watch television? Why do people watch films? And now on the internet, why do people watch each other? And I think maybe part of the reason is that you only get one life, right? We only get one life to live. And when we consume other people's ideas, it's a way of living more lives, right? I remember one of the first books I read, actually, I think it was the first book that I read on my own that wasn't assigned in school, was Jaws, right? Peter Benchley. By the way, the book was much better than the film. But it always is. Why? Because in a book, you're the director and you're the casting agent, and, you visualize everything the way you want it to be. But I remember just feeling like this was another world. When I read Bartleby the Scrivener by Herman Melville, it changed my language. I say I prefer not to instead of no because of Bartleby the Scrivener. And I know everybody knows Moby Dick, but very few people know about Bartleby the Scrivener. It's a really, really interesting short story. It's very short. You can knock it out in probably less than an hour. But it's a really, really, really interesting read. And that's what I felt like. I felt like I was plunged into another world. And I got to hear about things that I didn't know about. I got to visualize in my mind things that I had never thought about before. Is that part of the appeal? I mean, maybe. Sounds like it could be. You know, we watch films. I mean, what are films? They're just stories of other people's lives. Why do we need to do that? Isn't our life enough? Or maybe it's not even a question of whether it's enough or not. It's just different. You are limited to your life, but through books and films and songs and poems and paintings and all sorts of artistic expression, and of course, social media, we get to be exposed to so many different versions of life. Now, I'll be the first one to say some of those versions are dumb as shit, but that's okay. You know, you're going to have that. You know, you have to accept the bad with the good. I don't say accept good with the bad. That's a weird way of saying that. So, you know, there's bad stuff out there, and, you know, as long as it's not too bad, you can kind of accept it with all the good you get. I know social media has been great for me. I connect with people. I get to communicate with people. And my podcast is an absolute blast to do. I had no idea it was going to be so much fun. If I never make a dime on it, that'll be okay. I mean, I'd love to make money on it. It would be great if that happens. But if I don't, I'll still have enormous fun doing it. So anyway, I kind of split off there for a second, but the point is maybe voyeurism is not a salacious or bad thing. Again, yeah, we do watch corn and we watch people in a salacious way, and that's fine. But, you know, there's all this very common behavior in terms of watching other people that has nothing to do with salaciousness necessarily. It's just a curiosity about other people's lives. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing. Maybe it's just a thing. I don't know. But anyway, hopefully that's food for thought. As always, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.